and that we need to become involved in coming out and in large numbers and beginning these kinds of movements. One historian, an American historian, has really been great, and lately I've been reading these things and listening and writing the different quotes because the wisdom is incredible. But Howard Zinn, and some of you may know him, go to Google Howard Zinn, Z-I-N-N, and YouTube, and you can go and listen. He's gone, but his message is much alive. But one of the things he said was that the power of the people on top depends on the influence of the people below. When people stop obeying, they have no power. That is the people at the top. And we have seen those kinds of examples. Oakland was shut down, as you know, a couple of days ago, 5 in the morning. They were attacked literally by the police. They used flash grenades, and they used all kinds of things. Scott Olson, an Iraqi vet, he was injured from a flying projectile by the police. He has a concussion. He has a fractured skull. He is an Iraqi vet who came and took on this cause because he understood what's happening. And so they actually were cleared out. But guess what? They've been back. They just got $20,000 from Occupy New York. There's a group from Egypt that donated money to Occupy New York. Things are really happening in so many cities across the U.S. and Canada. There have been a lot of arrests. There's been police violence. And listening to Amy Goodman last night, her advice to the Occupy people was, when the police come in and tell you to turn off your recorders, you turn them on. Actually, the other thing that I talked about briefly, I'm not going to go into much detail, is it's the fact that our government, there's an epidemic going on, and they need our help. And so many of them, the Harper government, the Alberta government, are suffering from truth decay. And it's a big issue. It's a witty thing that I saw a sign when I was in Nelson at their rally. To tell you the truth, for a city of 12,000 people, they got out 700 people on that Saturday of the rally. They were fantastic. But at any rate, one of the things that our government is doing is negotiating behind closed doors. They're negotiating the rights of cities to make decisions. They're basically accepting a European Corporate Bill of Rights and adopting it, and the agreement is called CETA. Hands up if you've heard of CETA, the Comprehensive Economic Treaty Agreement. Okay, this is much higher than the average because I bet less than 1% of Canadians even know they're negotiating. They're negotiating behind closed doors. They don't want you to know what it is. It'll include our water, the agriculture, our public services, healthcare. It's pharmaceuticals. It's a corporate bill of rights, and they're doing it behind closed doors. It's a first agreement that goes subnational, which means that not only does it affect anything that the federal government does, but it affects what provincial and municipal governments do. That's why it's called a subnational agreement. Basically, corporations want it all. And as George Carlin said, they're not going to rest till they get it all. They want it more for themselves and less for the rest of us. So those are the kinds of issues that we're dealing with. They don't want to talk about it. They don't have any evidence to suggest that this is going to be a good thing for Canadians. You'd think that if government is going into negotiations, that they would have a sector-by-sector analysis to prove to Canadians that such a free trade agreement is beneficial. They haven't done any of that. There's nothing. The other side, the Canadian Centre of Policy Alternatives, have been working. They've been researching it, and basically, it's not going to go in in Canadians' benefit. It's going to be more job losses. We already know that NAFTA, we lost about 500,000 good manufacturing jobs. So we need to start asking our government, to come clean and to have citizen participation in these huge decisions that they're making. They can't be going around behind our backs. And they're close to finalizing the deal, but you know, the time is still there. At the tent there's some information on the Comprehensive Economic Treaty Agreement. It includes healthcare, our public water supplies. There are private for-profit water corporations, and they want to get their hands on our water. We need to make sure that we maintain that in the public domain. There's been a lot of denigration of the public realm, and we're here to get it back. So we need to support. We invite you to talk to your neighbors and have them come down here, speak to these people. They've been denigrated in the press. There's a lot of people here who are occupying. They know a lot, and they can express themselves very eloquently, and invite other people to come down, talk to them, bring some food if you can. They really accept it, because, you know, it's not easy being down here. The nights are getting colder. They need our support. They need our moral support as well. So if you can do that, that would be great, and they would be very, very pleased about that. And it's going to also be better for all of us, for our children, for our grandchildren. Thank you very much.